Rich was and is my irreplaceable best friend. And for the last 11 months, he was my Skype husband. He was thrilled to be accepted here when he transferred from Merck with his good friend Hene. And one of the major decisions was that he had met with the professors and found that everyone was warm and helpful, and this community and this culture here was just one of helping everyone succeed. And that was so important to him. So the decision was really easy for him. So when Kayla and Zoe and I came here last December to help move him into the fluorescent light suites, very stark, with no oven. Did I say no oven? He had laid out his clothes and his stethoscope and all his equipment, and he pulled out his scrubs with his name on it. And he was so proud of those scrubs. Later on did I learn that he probably ordered it from the bookstore. He wasn't really all that surprised that it was there. Maybe he was surprised it got delivered. I thought he was surprised that his name was on it. But he was so very proud. And when he was here for the white coat ceremony, as you all were here, and thank you all for wearing your white coats too, he was extremely proud of his white coat. And he was so grateful that he could have it. And I'm grateful to SMU for have given him that white coat. But this is a time of celebration and a time to be thankful, you know. As we all are only temporarily here on this earth. And as we all are born and we know we will pass on to the next world, we should be thankful that we were able to share this world together, and especially thankful that Rich was in our lives, because he was such a brilliant, warm, good-hearted, passionate man. And I want to tell you, he was in his element here, learning to help others. I mean, he had such a huge, big, giant heart, except when it came to, like, roosters. Yeah. Chicken for dinner the next night. He was able to exercise his brilliant mind. And I kind of figured out why he loved it here so much, just because he was around smart people. Because as you all know, he didn't like stupid people. So he was really in his element here, making all his friends. And most importantly, he was allowed, or I don't know if he was allowed, but he cursed a lot, I heard. Because guess what? When he was at home, he was not allowed to curse. So he was definitely purely himself here with his wit and his political incorrectness. And most importantly, at home, I was thinking over the last couple of days and hearing these stories, at home, when he would get red in the face and get in your face and yell at you and go, "You are so blah," and like run out of the room angry and insult you and do whatever, you always forgave him, and the next day he'd get you lunch. Maybe that's why his credit card bills were so high. Made up for it the next day because he got back down to his true, pure heart self. But you all forgave him and knew him for who he was, whereas at home, he was never allowed to behave that way. When he got angry, it was, "Stop that, not supposed to do that." So he was able to be himself here, and I thank you all for that. He was also very passionate, and I think you heard that earlier. You know he was so passionate. He was passionate about everything. Penn State football, right? And I don't know if some of you know, but the first time he was down here and there was a Penn State football game, we came up with a contraption where I put Skype onto our big TV, and then he was Skyping, watching our big TV on Skype. So that's how he got to watch the games live. He was passionate about sailing. He was passionate about cars and saxophones and jazz, technology, medicine, and his family. In fact, let me tell you something I found out recently about cars and his passion for cars. I heard about this story last night. Thank you very much. And actually, I was at the funeral home today, and he looks wonderful. We had a little chat. I had to yell at him at the funeral home today because I found out last night that he had these intentions of buying a Mini Cooper, Penn State blue and white, and he was convinced and showing it off to everyone on the web and surfing about all the details of how he could import it here, and I just want you to know I had no idea. And I told Franz that it's okay that he passed on the way he did, because if he would have bought that Mini Cooper, I think I might have killed him. But in addition to the car thing, Richard mostly wanted to be loved. He loved friends. He loved being loved. He loved loving. And I know he loved me very much, and Zoe and Kayla and everyone, all his family, and you. He just lived to love and lived to be loved. He was the best dad, husband, brother, son, and looks like he was the best friend, too. At second block exams, he warned he couldn't spend much time with me on Skype because he had to study. SMU trained him well to be focused. And I said, I understand, that's okay, that's fine, I'll talk to you when they're done. And they were finished, and I thought we could spend the time. We figured out how to have date night watching Brian Williams on NBC News through Skype video sharing, online screen sharing. So we'd spend 20 minutes watching TV together, Grey's Anatomy, where he'd criticize all the errors they were making. All that stuff. So that was the thing. And so when he was finished, one night I said, can we watch news together? He said, no, he has to help a friend who's extremely depressed. Little did I know that friend, went home. He was at risk of passing, so he had to help his friend. Well, I was mad that after a week worth of little Skype and 9 months or whatever of really him not being here, one of the good things about Rich is he let me yell at him, and he still loved me a lot. But I was mad, so what did he do? He sent me flowers and said, please forgive me, I'll watch every night. And what he did was he said, I'm going to call you every night during my study group, and I'm going to put you in the corner and put you on mute so that you can watch and study with me. So I don't know if you know, and I know some of you have known some of you through Skype because I've met you there. We all say hi, and he said he put me in the corner, so he did. And every night for like hours, I mean, we must have been on Skype. Good thing it's free for hours. And he equipped our house so much with Skype that we had 4 computers on the first floor, a netbook, an iPad, and 2 laptops. And we even got group video Skyping so that if we were upstairs and downstairs, we could call 2 phone or 2 Skype names, and we'd all be together, whatever room we were in. The technology side of him. So that night, the night before he died, we got online at 7 o'clock. As we did, now that he figured out that I could still be with him even though he was studying. And we turned on Skype. He started in the kitchen. We had dinner together, and he would yell at Zoe for not eating enough beans. And we had dinner, and then we went to the bedroom, and Zoe was getting put to bed. And Zoe got put to bed, and the lights were turned off, and Rich was still there on the computer watching Zoe sleeping in the dark while I had to drive my other daughter Kayla to dance and pick her up, and didn't get home until 9:45. I got back in the room, and Rich was still there on Skype studying, and I'm like, hey, I'm back, and he said, hey, I'm back, and we chatted, and I started falling asleep, and I said, hey, I'm going to go to bed now, and it was 11:19. And he seemed very animated. I don't know what you all were doing at that study group at 11:20, but he was, moving his lips, even though he was on mute. And he said, like I said, I'm going to go. And he said, okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow. I said, okay, at 6:40 a.m. I said, okay. And we turned off the Skype. And at 5:20, I got the call from Irene. And she asked me if I was sitting. And, well, I got a phone call, and I thought, Rich doesn't call me now. He calls me at 6:30, not 5:20. I thought something must be seriously wrong. I ended up talking to her. She asked if I was sitting, and she said she had unfortunate news. And Rich, I'm sure, well, now that he's passed, HIPAA doesn't apply. He had some issues health issues where I thought if he wasn't going to die this way, he'd have a heart attack or something, that you'd die that way. So there's always that risk. I thought there was something wrong. and she informed me that he passed at around 12:30 the night before. Well, at first I was in shock, and then after that faded away, I was really happy for him because he died here amongst friends and people that loved him and pursuing his dream and pursuing his passion, because he died happy. You all need to take comfort in the fact that he passed extremely happy, because he had all of you loving him. That's what he wanted. And he would want also all of you to not be distracted by this, for you to study, to do well, to be excellent doctors, and just be who you are. Don't ever lower that bar in terms of excellence. So thank you for having us here and being so gracious with our family. We have lots of stories. You know, ask me about the Joe Biden one. We also welcome you to the Marriott. In 15 minutes, we'll have a reception there from 5 to 7 from us to all of you. So we welcome all of you to join us for drinks and food, and I hope to see you there. But thank you.
Wanted to add in closing, the one thing you don't know is that the phone has been ringing off the hook since this occurred, and the entire island shares your loss.
Sorry, come here. You hold this.
Thank you so much for coming. And you're all incredible. Oh, good.
I know this is probably not this is a tearjerker, Zoe. In closing, I wanted to, before you do closing, I wanted to read a letter that Zoe wrote to her dad the other day. Right, Zoe? I don't know some of these words. Can you help me out? You want to say it? You want to say it? Okay. Dear Daddy, I miss you a lot because you died for us. And then she goes to write a letter to God. To God from Zoe. I miss my daddy. Can you please send him back? If you can't, that's okay. Just do the best you can. What does this say, Zoe? All right, we don't have a half hour. Just do the best you can. Dad, I love you so much that you won't tackle? That you won't tackle me. We all miss you. Tickle me. Oh, okay. So you want to. So this is their letter from Zoe. So say thank you, Zoe. Okay. Thank you.
On behalf of SMU family, the Richards family, and from everyone, thank you so much for taking the time to come and share what a wonderful person Richard Martin is, and how he still continues to teach us new lessons. And we're going to draw it to a close. And thank you, Franz, for everything. We love you too. And we all truly love and miss Richard. Thank you.
I don't know if I can help you now.
Sorry,
Moving
sideways.
this thing.